and today I wanted to talk to you guys about preparation, right? So we know that it's a part of life, and in order for you to get anywhere in life, you need to prepare, you need to plan for things. You want a job, right? You want to go to work? Okay, so you got to get up in the morning, you got to shower, get ready, do whatever you got to do, get dressed, and then head to work. You can't just get up and then go. You know, like you got to have a plan. You got to know where you're going, okay? You want your license. You want to be able to drive. So you got to take the necessary classes and pass and this and that, do the whole nine. You know, whenever we want things in life, we always have to prepare for them. And we always have to plan to some measure for whatever it is that we need. Otherwise, life is really in control of you and you're not in control of life. And who wants that, right? So what happens, though, when you're not the one that's in charge of the preparation period anymore? I know it might sound a little confusing, but let me break it down to you a little bit, right? So we know that whenever we want something out of life and whenever we're in control of something, we're always the ones trying to order the steps and trying to prepare. You got to prep, okay, what am I going to eat? I need to go to the grocery store, so I need to get this, boom, 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 boom. But what happens when we want things in life that is not easily attainable and we need the assistance of God? Now, God is the one that's in charge of that preparation period. And he decides how he's going to prep you. You know, you don't go to a fitness coach and say, hey, I want this kind of body. I want these kind of results and this kind of effect. And I want you to do it this way, that way, this way, that way. They're going to laugh in your face because you're paying them to help you, but they have to come up with a plan for you and with you. You can't just come to them and say, this is what I want, this is what I want, and this is how I want you to do it. It doesn't work that way. Then if that's the case, then you could do it yourself, right? So it's the same thing in life, and it's the same thing that God does to us. So that's why it's so important that we can't get mad at him whenever we're going through these prepping phases, because it just means that he's taking us to the next dimension and that he's getting us ready for whatever it is that we've asked for. And we ask for a number of things on a regular basis. We ask for cars and wealth and money. We ask for houses and families. You know, you can't ask for a child and not expect to go through the labor pains. Can't work. Doesn't happen. You have to go through the labor pains. And that's why I consider the desires of our of our hearts, the things that we ask God for, that's why I consider it as having, like, as being double-sided. So there's always one side that you're pleased with, one side that you want and that you're happy to get the results out of it. And there's another side that you don't necessarily, I don't want to get into that right now. I'd rather not take that route, So it's like, okay, yeah, I want to build a family. I want to have children and I can't wait to see them in their little tiny toes and crawling all over the house and carrying them. They're so cute. But you don't want to endure the pain of going through labor. So thankfully, that choice isn't up to us whenever it comes to how God preps us. It is not up to us because we would be trying to find shortcuts in life and we would be trying to direct him and tell him what to do, and we would just be a whole big mess, right? So it is very, very important that we let God do his job when he is in the middle of trying to prepare us for something that we ask for ourselves, okay? So whenever we're asking for things like material things, we can attain them. And, we need some assistance here and there, but okay, they're attainable, we get through it. But what about those other things, those things that are going to build your self-esteem, those things that are going to build your character? What about when you ask God for those types of things? So that's where he really starts to have a lot of fun with us. And not because he just wants to get a kick out of it, but simply that's just how life is. That's life is our best teacher. Experience is our best teacher. So, you can't pray for peace and then expect to just get peace like that, like he's just a genie in a bottle and he's going to give you peace just because you asked for it. No, actually, if you ask for peace, he might just have you go through traffic every single day of your life on your commute to or from work or to or from wherever it is that you're going. Because in that moment where you're surrounded by so much chaos, everybody's beeping their horns and everybody's getting frustrated and everyone is just like so out of it. Everybody's tired. They're trying to get from one place to the other. You're in my way. I'm in your way, whatever. That is one of the hardest places to try to find peace, because you know why? Because we are all so consumed and so worried about us. Me, where I gotta be, where I gotta go, what I want, move out of my way. So what better way to teach us peace than to put us in a crazy, chaotic situation like traffic, especially in Jersey. So Let's say you want joy. God might actually let you be by yourself for a while. You know, you think that, because a lot of times when we think about joy, we associate it with having someone, having a companion, having a spouse, a mate. And sometimes he wants us to get to love ourselves first before we can start to love anybody else. So you might actually find yourself lonely first before you actually find the one or someone that's for you. Because until you learn to love who you are, until you learn to appreciate or get to know who you are, then you have no business going out there and engaging into someone else's life. You're just gonna, be a recipe for disaster. There's so many things that we ask God for on a regular basis. You ask him for wisdom, you ask him for joy, for peace, for love, for this, for that. And we don't want to go through the pain, but we have to though. We have to. That's what I'm trying to get us to understand, that the pressing, the molding, the grinding, that is what builds us up. And it is not pretty. It is not easy. It is not fun at the moment. But how great is it when you get to look back at where you came from? You're like, wow, I really came a long way. Like when you look at the position that you are now in life and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I'm already here, when in the beginning I couldn't do one push-up and now I'm doing 25 to 30 easily without breaking a sweat. Or you're like, you know what? Wow, I didn't think that I could lose this much weight. I didn't think that, I could be this great of a parent. I didn't think that I can drive on a parkway. But little by little, you started to just, go through the grinding process, the molding process, and you let God mold you and form you and shape you until you were confident enough to be able to develop into something greater than yourself. So it is very, very key that we let God do his job while we do our job. Our job is to do whatever he says. Our job is to go through whatever it is that we're in the midst of, because we'll have so many things thrown at us. Every single day, we'll have things thrown at us left and right. Oh, this needs my attention. That needs my attention. I need to go here. I need to go there. I need to do this. I need to do that. But we have to also remember that there is something something that we're headed for. Like we have a mission. We have a goal. We have a destination. You got to always remember what your destination is and not let yourself get sidetracked because of all the other pop-ups in life. So that is very, very key whenever it is that you have a plan, because we all know that plans don't always go as planned. There's always hiccups. There's always something that is coming, popping up. And a lot of times you might even question yourself. You might even question your faith. You might question God, like, why are certain things happening to me? Why is this happening? It's because you asked for it. I asked for a more sense of a responsibility. So now, you know what? God has given me, bigger workload at my job. I said I want this promotion. I said I want this. I said I want, that more responsibility. But now when he's giving me the workload, I'm crying and complaining at night, like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get this done? I asked for a master's degree. So now when I'm going through schooling and I'm going through the whole process, I'm over here having a hissy fit. Like I said, it is not a pleasant process, everybody, but we have to just get our minds, wrap our minds around the fact that we still have to go through it anyway. There is no debating that one. Like we just have to go through it. You just gotta let the process take place, honestly. Like one way that I look at it is, if you cannot go through the pressing, you can't go through the grinding, you can't go through the crushing, don't expect great wine to come out of those grapes. And you yourself is the grape, right? You're the grapes. And in order for you to become great wine, you have to go through the whole process of what it takes to have that wine be what it is. If you make one slip up, if you make one shortcut, you take one, you substitute one thing that is not as valuable to that wine, then it loses its value automatically. So it's just very important that we pay attention to the things that we ask God for. And I'm not saying not to ask God for great things. Like, it's amazing. I encourage us to go out there and ask God, oh God, you know what? I want this, I want that, I want this. And not just material things, but things to grow yourself, things to better yourself, things for you to be able to look on and be like, wow, you know what? Like, I'm so dope, I'm so this, like I really did this. That is so awesome. I want you to go out there with that kind of mentality, like, you know what, I want this out of life. I want a bigger sense of responsibility. I want more wisdom. I want more enlightenment. I want more knowledge. I want more courage. I want more bravery. I want more toughness. I want more strength. I want all of that, you know, like I want you guys to go out there and really tell God which one of those things you want, like which one of these things that you really want to attain or that you want to grow in even more. Let's say you already attained these things, but you want to grow in them a lot more, because that only expands your lifespan and it also expands your brain, right? So it's tough because you have to be careful what you ask him for, you know, like you have to really be careful about what you ask him for, because now that, you know, we're looking at it in that sense, like whatever I ask God for, he's probably going to give me the opposite of that to see if I'm really ready for whatever it is that I'm asking or that I'm requesting. So yes, be careful what you ask for, because I'm not going to lie to you, and don't lie to yourself and say, you know what, I want a family right now, or I want this, but you know that you're not ready to settle down. You know that you still want to be out there partying and, you know, hanging out. You're not ready to be submissive, you know. Don't say that you want, you know, to have a degree, and then you know that you're not going to be focusing on school. You're going to be working at jobs more than you're going to be putting into your studies. Like, you know that you're just doing it just to get the degree, just to get the paper. You know, don't ask for things that you know that you can't handle, or things that you know that you're not ready to put in the work for. Really sit down and really figure out what it is that you want in your life, and ask yourself, am I really willing to put in the work, whatever that work may be, whatever that may look like, because you're not in control of that part. You can decide what it is that you want, but you can't decide how the route that you're going to take to get there. You don't put the things in place, you know. You're just having to jump through the hoops, and you're just having to get there, and that's all that we can do. There's not much to it, you know. We can only do but so much. We just got to go through it. We got to go through the pressing, and that's what makes us so great, is because we're always challenging ourselves. We're always, you know, trying to find the next level, trying to find ourselves in the next dimension. And it is so cool because it only expands your growth, it expands your mind. It just helps you to develop another part of you that you didn't even know that you had. So yes, be careful what you ask God for, but that doesn't mean limit the things that you ask God for, or limit the capacity of whatever it is that you're asking God for. Don't start to ask for mediocre things or wish for mediocre things just because you're afraid of hard work, just because you're afraid of going through things. Because quite frankly, in this life, you're going to go through things regardless. There is no avoiding it. No matter what, you're gonna go through things. So me personally, I would rather at least be in control of what it is that I want to get out of whatever I'm going through. Because if I'm gonna go through things anyway, I want to at least be like, you know what am I gonna go through this for? I'm gonna go through all these hard times for something, for these things. But if I'm just living my life casually, like, okay, whatever, I'm just here, I'm just living, whatever happens, happens, I could care less, then that doesn't exempt me from having to go through trials, from having to go through struggles. If anything, I'm still going to go through them, and even more, because now I'm not even cognizant of the fact that I'm struggling, why I'm struggling. I don't have no purpose for why I'm struggling. So I'm just struggling for free, basically. So that's why it's very, very, very crucial that we set goals, and we have dreams, and we know what we want. God, you want humility, you want peace, you want joy, you want character, bravery, courage, whatever it is that you want, go for it. But just get ready for the pressing, get ready for the grinding, get ready for the molding, because that is what God does. He is a potter, and he will mold you into whatever he needs you to become. The quicker you can get through that process, through that molding and pressing and grinding, the better it is for you. So stop trying to fight the inevitable, because we have to get somewhere. We all have somewhere to be. And so the quicker that we let God take control of our lives and direct our paths, we have our opinions. We can say, what we want and what we would like out of life. But at the end of the day, he's really the author of our lives. So, just keep that in mind. I really hope that this video helped you guys in some way, shape, or form. Just really, really remember that a life with no plan, with no direction, is going to get you nowhere that you want to be. You're always going to be questioning yourself. What am I doing here? Oh my goodness. Why this? Why that? Why me? But at least if you set some goals, if you know what you want out of life, then at least you know that whatever struggles, whatever trials you're going through, they are not in vain. You are working towards something. So that's all that I got for you guys. Thanks.